Welcome, thank you. You know what, you're really happy to see me, you're just glad I'm not Snooky. I'm just really thrilled to be here. I want to thank Book Revue for having me. I just want to reiterate something, just as like a little housekeeping, something that Anne said before. I just want to reiterate, we got to support our local indie. So if you didn't buy my book here, you bought it someplace else, you bought it whatever, I would love to see you buy something here tonight. It's really, really important. Okay, thanks. I got that out of the way. So it's great to have you here. I'm thrilled to see family. I'm thrilled to see friends. I brought my whole entourage. Hi, Mike. Okay, so what I'm going to do tonight, I'm not going to talk for too long because it's a very nice big group, which I'm absolutely thrilled about. And I do want to leave time for the Q&A because that's my favorite part, and I think that's the audience's favorite part as well. So I'm just going to talk a little tiny bit and do a very short reading and then do a Q&A, and then we'll do the book signing. So nice, simple and fun evening. Okay, so, in terms of my talk, what I want to address is the most common question that writers get asked is, where do you get your ideas from? And that's what I want to talk about. And I know that a lot of authors, start to get sick of that idea, of that question after a while. Me, I happen to love that question. I think it's a great question. Where do you get your ideas from? I mean, there's such an earnestness to it, as if, that there's some special Costco that writers go to where, you could find your ideas on a shelf. I love to picture this like there's the mystery aisle is really dark, and, the thriller aisle that, books come tumbling down off the shelves and crash on your head, and there's a romance aisle that smells good, and, there's no section for literary fiction, but if you look up at the, highest shelves, that's where you can find it. And then I was thinking, would there be a section for metafiction? But then I decided that probably just the experience of shopping itself, that would be the metafiction. Okay. But, so, all right. My ideas. Where do I get my ideas from? I think what it comes down to, for me, and I think also for most writers, is that a writer's job, probably more than anything, is to pay attention. We pay attention to the outside world to pick up all those small nuances and details that bring our fiction to life and make it seem real. But we also have to pay close attention to what's inside. And by that I mean every stray, strange thought that passes through your head could possibly be spun into a tale. And my feeling is that everybody has crazy, strange thoughts rumbling through. But if you're a writer, you stop, you grab it, you pay attention, and you think, could that be a book? And that's pretty much exactly how I got the idea for The Other Life. It happened one morning. I was sitting down to write. Mike had left for work, the kids had left for school, and there I was all by myself, ready to escape into the world of fiction that I had created. And I was thinking about that notion, about the fact that I was escaping into this world I had created. And when I had that thought, I said, I wonder what would happen if a woman like me had the ultimate escape. I mean, could really escape, in a literal sense, could actually slip through a portal to another life. Maybe the life she would have had if she hadn't made these choices, if she hadn't gotten married and had children, if she'd stayed single. All those what ifs. And it was just this little fragment of a thought, and I went, maybe there's a book there. Maybe there's a story there. I had to think about it for a very long time, because I started to get an idea about a character. I guess because I started with myself, I got an idea for a character who was happy with her life. She was happily married. She was happy to be a mother. But I said to myself, something very, very big is going to have to happen in her life to be a catalyst to make her want to even consider crossing over to the other side. So I had to do a lot of thinking about that and about who she was. And I still didn't quite have a book, and I was thinking a lot about her history. And I realized that she had a bipolar mother who had committed suicide 7 years ago. When I got that idea, the book started to gel for me, and it really, really started to come together. And the thing was, the problem with this concept was that it was so different from anything I had ever written before. I didn't know if this was going to be okay. You know, my other books, I mean, I never thought of them as, I mean, I know that they're lighter. I never thought of them as quite as light as they were, you know, marketed with their pink covers. But certainly this was darker and higher concept than what I had done before. And I didn't know, would my agent accept this from me? Would she say, oh, goodness, Ellen, you got to go back to the drawing board and do something more like what you did before? But I said, you know, I got to give this a shot. And so I did. I wrote basically a proposal, a few chapters, and an outline, sent it to my agent, and then waited really, really nervously to hear back. And when she did call, it was just one of those like truly magnificent moments. You know, she just said, "Oh my God." So fortunately, she found a bunch of editors that felt the exact same way, and the book did wind up selling at auction, and the rest is history. Now, here's an interesting thing. At this point, this was all I wanted to say, and I was going to go right into reading at this point. And as I'm standing around having wine, and she said, "You know how busy I am that I just didn't even think of this?" I said to myself, "Oh, you might want to tell the group about the HBO thing. Look, it's handwritten here at the bottom of my notes. I didn't even think of it till the last minute." Okay, for those of you who don't know, I think a lot of you know me online, so you've heard because I've announced it like crazy. But for the benefit of those who don't, one day this summer, my phone rang, and it was my agent, which is, by the way, always still to this day really exciting when I see my agent's number come up on the caller ID. So I answered the phone, and it was my agent, and she said, "Hi, Ellen, I have some good news for you. HBO," I didn't hear anything else. I started to scream. So the upshot of that story is that HBO has taken an option to turn the book into a series. And it's just hugely exciting. You know, I won't know for quite a while if it's actually going to happen, if we're going to get the green light. If it does, it's definitely going to change my career forever. So fingers crossed. And even just getting the I mean, honestly, even just getting the option is just, you know, so hugely exciting. One of the things my agent explained to me, you know, as book agents, they sell a lot of books to movies, the movie options. And she said, in some ways, movie options are a dime a dozen. I mean, there are so many books that are optioned for movies, and really maybe like 2 or 3% actually get made into a movie. But she said with something like HBO, it's more like 50%. So it's yeah, it's pretty exciting. You know, stressful, exciting, also exciting. But anyway, so that's all the yakking I'm going to do for now. I'm just going to read 2 short sections. And then I am going to take questions, so hopefully you guys have a few things to ask.